And inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ad Guru Jugat Guru Sat Guru
Siri Gurudev
Ad
Guru Name
Jugat
Ad Guru Name Sat Guru Name Siri Gurudev Name
Jugat
Guru Name Sat Guru Name Siri Gurudev Name.
And Japa Saraswati, now is the time to put the chat.
Okay.
Okay. And at the same time, Gian Das Prem, was that your man's photo on text? Was that you?
Oh,
Yes, he posted a picture of himself a few days ago.
oh yes.
Okay, got it. Well, good. Now we know who you are. Okay. Great. Okay. So, does everybody have your chat?
I have it.
Yes.
Good.
Would you like me to read it?
Yes, please.
All right. So it starts off, please let us know if you would need to leave early. You may need to leave another appointment right afterwards. I think you were reading Aagia Pal's mind, Siri Gian. Otherwise, so that we can sequence you. So here's the cue from Baba. We would like each of our questions about our cosmic siblings. Then let us know your answers from Baba Siri Chand. As we have done before, tune in. Then what are one or two questions about your cosmic siblings from everyday self? Please write your questions on the chat for about 2 minutes. Then we'll do 1 minute of heart pumping and 4 minutes of heart breath and listen to everybody's answers.
Got it?
I got it.
Okay. So now begin. You all know what you're talking about the cosmic siblings?
Like the aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want us to ask what the aliens are talking about? Is that what you're saying?
What you want from, yeah. Japa Saraswati, talk with that.
Yeah, the aliens are our cosmic siblings, intergalactic beings. And I think we had used a gender specific term and then we switched to siblings, maybe because of being just non-gendered about it, that they are yeah, let's ask our questions. Do you understand about the aliens, Suzanne?
I imagine you're asking, do I know any, have aliens said anything to me? No, but do you want me to ask an alien about something?
I think
Something
we're asking Baba Siri Chand questions about our cosmic siblings.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
Okay.
I think it's also coming from our everyday self, which is kind of cool. or different. It's a communication between
Something.
soul and everyday self.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now just put your questions, one or two, onto our chat and begin. And now be sure to write your questions on our chat. Has anyone put your questions on your chats?
I am waiting until somebody else does to push.
I'm doing it. I'm in process now.
Okay.
And it takes a long time to, if you're not on a computer, to type in anything. So, I mean, this could be another 5 minutes or something.
Oh, come on. Okay. Japa Saraswati. Oh, good. Aagia Pal. Good. Sahej. Sahej in Salt City. Where is? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just texting it in right now.
Salt City.
I'm trying, I can't get my notes to work, so can I just speak them? I can't get into notes.
Oh, okay. Just maybe Japa Saraswati. Can you?
Yeah, what is it, Sat City? I will write it for you. I am ready. What's your question?
Sahej? Oh, wait a minute. Sahej, it says you're mute. Please unmute you.
Sorry, G, I was trying to, I can't unmute while I'm also typing in the text.
Oh, okay.
So I put something in there. I think I truncated it, but that's fine.
Okay. Sun City?
Yes,
Okay.
can you hear me?
So
Yeah. What's
I
your
can't-
question, Sat City? I will just type it for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. My question is, Baba Siri Chand, could you help me understand? Because since I was a little kid, I have seen, I think that the creatures from other places was already part of our media television system. And there were shows like Superman. There was a really important episode where, and a lot of other TV shows that had aliens. I can't remember the names of them. Remember those TV shows where
Maybe the Twilight Zone.
yeah, the Twilight Zone, and what's the one where they were up on a rocket for a long time? It's
Mhm.
Dr. Spock.
Oh yeah.
So, Baba City Chun, in my heart of hearts and in my own experience, when I had a ET come into my bedroom at night, and I thought it was a nightmare, but when I went to my parents and they came back, it wasn't there. So help us. It seems to me like Baba Siri Chand, that the aliens have been among us in very gentle and loving ways, and that the media created a really television, 50s, 60s television, 70s television, where it was a really popular theme, and then the ET movies, that we've been kind of getting an education, and I don't know how good that education was through those movies and television shows. So ET was really very positive. So just any insight about the fact that actually we've been, aliens have been here and we've been containing their power and their our capacity for companionship with them through media. So I hope I'm clear, but that really is an honest question from my own
Okay.
life. Thanks.
All right. So I think you know the question. I truncated it for the notes, but you
Good.
know what question it is that you're asking.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Thank you.
good.
Thanks for your help and support.
Okay, that's great. So now we're ready.
1
reading.
minute of heart pumping and 4 minutes of heart breath listening to Baba Siri Chand.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So begin. And continue heart breath. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Okay, Aagia Pal, first thing, just talk about your question.
So my questions are how to deepen my relationship with my cosmic siblings and how to recognize or trust their guidance.
Good. Okay, go ahead.
So Baba was very clear that very, very clear. Baba says that these cosmic siblings are, I can call them forth. Oh, he first says, pay attention. So I need to really focus more attention on these my cosmic siblings, and I can call them forth through my intention as my spirit guides. And just like Joan of Arc, as I'm reading the book, Mark Twain, she led the army through her conscious connection with God and her cosmic siblings. So I should do the same, and the siblings, the spirit guides, will come as my army, and I can and I am to the strategy here is to send them to where this world needs the most love. And where the world needs the most love is where everything is the worst, where everything, apocalyptic things are happening, and so very crazy, manic, terrible destruction, etc. So he says that I can lead this army of spirit guides, cosmic siblings, and deploy them where and I will be led to deploy them where they are needed the most. And because I call them forth and I pay attention and I trust, I trust in the goodness of God, and in which they all rest and in which they all shall I say exist, then I will be deploying them in really where they're needed most. And so it's, in summary, pay attention, call upon my the beings or my spirit guides, then deploy them, then stay in touch with and tune with Baba Siri Chand and Guru and so on, and be aware and deploy them fearlessly where they are needed most.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, let me ask you, are you talking about the most difficult situations? Are you talking about single people? Are you talking about areas?
Oh, good question. Yeah. What I had in my mind, the picture was of groups of people, of events. Example, LA, example, Gaza. So groups of people in very bad circumstances.
Okay. So that means
Mhm.
that are having difficulty, not just dark people.
Yeah,
You're talking about people who have been squashed and so on.
yeah, where the energy is so negative and so destructive and so running in circles on itself and escalating on itself. That's where I need to deploy these my spirit guides. They need to stop it. They need to, throw the axe in the wheel to stop this.
Okay.
I'm getting on a roll here, but yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay.
Can I?
Hello?
I don't want to speak out of turn. I remember a couple of years ago, Aagia Pal, I was begging Baba Siri Chand all day for like months to make this stop, this Aquarian sort of thing that's happening with the destruction of everything.
Mm-hmm.
He said that it's not going to stop, that it's too late to make it stop, that it had been, started a very, very long time ago.
Wow.
Okay.
Maybe he's changed his mind.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so are you talking about the victims or the
perpetration?
Yeah, I'm talking about the people and the energies that need it most are the dark energies and the people that carry out these dark. So that's where I am to deploy these to
I
deploy the
understand.
energies. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining that for me.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Thanks for asking.
Begin with Washington. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, Jot Gian Devi. What are talk with the questions?
Hi. My question, I imagine I printed it in. Did y'all get it? Did I get it right? Did you see my questions?
I see your questions.
Okay, good. My first question is, how do we find common ground? Which Aagia Pal also asked, essentially. My answer that I got is through the heart center. That is common ground. And my next question was, cosmic siblings, have you all been involved with earthlings for a long time? And the answer was, our time is not necessarily your time. This is relative. We would say there is no time as such. It's more about space and energy. I would imagine that means frequency.
Wow. Okay. Now say it again.
All of it? 1 and 2?
The last part of it.
Okay. The last part. Okay. Cosmic siblings, have you all been involved with earthlings for a long time? And the answer that I got was, our time is not necessarily your time. This is relative. We would say there is no time as such. It's more about space and energy, which I would translate to frequency.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Jot Gian Devi, you have that?
Yes, those are my two questions, yes, and my response to them.
Okay. Yeah, because I always want to know what year.
What year? Yeah, right. Yes, it's probably not going to be about a year.
About a year.
No, I don't think it is about our kind of time. I think we're learning clearly that it's about frequency. It's about the heart center. I think it's what in one of the questions I got that, like probably a different way of communication, but we already get it. We're already communicating, I think. But just in the not in a way that we have to use our heart center. We have to use our frequencies. We have to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that so positively, but I think it's true.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Harimandir.
My question, which I'll have to go find it.
Oh, Japa Saraswati.
You want me to read it for you, Harimandir?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's typing and thinking and all this at the same time is a problem. So, my question is, why are we dealing with extraterrestrials when there's so much? We know what to do. We know how to live in heart. We know how, we know all these things. We don't, so we have a whole nother army of being somewhere extraterrestrially to come and help us, which Jot Gian Devi was saying, it's there's the time frame isn't our personal time frame, but we can call in the armies, which really that's what we've been doing with Baba Siri Chand. But this is a time of also a time of action, and talking about, I mean, the whole thing of Los Angeles is people saying this is cruel. We have to stand up against the cruelty. We can sit in our bubbles and send love to it, or send love to Washington, or send love to Israel. But this is the time that we have to speak up. And I'm dealing with an act of, which I consider cruelty in Juneau, of people who are being evicted. And I can't hope, or I need to act. And if acting means beginning with the heart breath and sending the heart breath, but then I have to follow up on it. And I have to talk to the people that are causing the issue. So bringing in an army of extraterrestrials, I can't fathom it. So it's beyond what I can deal with at this point. And so that's where I am. I know what I have to do. I know what is right. I know who I have to talk to. I can't deal with extraterrestrials at the same time.
Excuse me.
Period. I agree.
Okay, thank you, dear.
Mhm.
That's very good. Okay. So just stay with that and heart breath, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I want to go back to the word hope. And I think it's a namby-pamby word, and it's, oh, I hope this is going to be or whatever. But it's fierce hope. You have to do something. Like Aagia Pal saying, stick the axe in the wheel. We have to do more than heart breath at this particular time, I believe.
Okay, and just do them both.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much. Okay. So now, let's see. Oh, Gian Das Prem. Oh, wait a minute. Also, Aagia Pal needs to go somewhere. Okay. Okay, Gian Das Prem, go ahead.
Tottenham. Okay. Will true love vibration of freedom replace rules and separations that are currently slowing our evolution towards peaceful communication? And what I have been given is I was shown lightning and how it travels, and that it can travel in different ways, and how it's also used, I'm going to go back to the string again and Ben Franklin with the key and the communication between the light and the life of all the beings. How a flower needs light and how a human needs light, and what we're combined from the elements that have come through here. The epigenetics is the silent music, is what I'm being told. So in a sense, when lightning travels, it can also move into other items, and it can actually move through the air as a ball, and it can, as we've discussed before, it can come through items such as electrical wires, or in some cases non-grounded dryers, which are most likely a thing of the past. But what the light can do to us, in powerful ways, it can change us to another form or end our life. And I think when we look at the light as to what it does, and when we have the heat of the light and brought into media, we're allowed to take pictures with cameras, and now we're doing all of these other things with energy. So we're actually working with energy that is light, that has a power source, and we're containing that power source, and we're using it in so many ways, and the vibration will always take over. So within the vibration, there is a certain amount of learning in that quiet center where we can access our divine creation through the life that we've been given through this opportunity now of speaking. And through these other life forms and the epigenetics of the transference of information and objects coming and going through our atmosphere. What's above is below the rainbow, right? It's a full circle. We just see half of it. There are certain ways of our energy that we're only seeing a certain amount. So if we are presented with that lightning ball, how do we react to it? What are our questions? Are we hearing the answers that are coming back to us through the freedom of information allowance? There's no law or act, or this is just the way of being, and coming back into that way of being and the freedom of that being, of all of the planets moving and us having, we have such small particles, and we also have hard particles within our brain, right, that allow them to move at certain speeds, which then allow the communication to develop, and for the colors in our mind to change, and for this technology to abound within us, of all the information being free throughout the world, that throughout the universe, that the ways of communication are just laid out, and then they're put into certain aspects that we're sort of and then we come back to that silence, right? So this way of being, of the rule making, and you telling me what I'm going to do and I'm telling you what you're doing, is together. Here we are. There's one person, and then there's two to make people. There aren't only one person and then two people. We are billions now. And the Waheguru of that moment of us being all the people that ever were, that's a lot of freedom to handle. So I think that responsibility within the freedom is for the sharing of that, the sharing of the freedom, and coming back to that quiet center, the example of the breath, of the coming and going, and the feeling of that on our skin. If we touch a certain part of our body, we can actually feel the pulse of our movement, of that heart pumping the fluids through and creating the electricity, allowing the crystals in my brain to vibrate enough to send out the information. For me, being from a single seed organism of this earth and just sprouting forth more life for the freedom of our existence. And we have been free for a long time, and we may be entering a time where we need to express our freedom through the entire group as a whole learning experience. And I am being within that being of the Waheguru, and that's enough for me from you. We and us are you together, right? One person and then people. And we are together developing here. Waheguru, thank you so much for the freedom, for this way of letting go and that surrender of creating, the diamond and the rough and the colors that we abound through our being. Yeah, love is good, and it's
Okay.
really powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now, many years ago, I listened for, it was so strange, about a fellow was there, and I was listening, and that said that computers not having electricity, but rather using the energy from his heart and what do you call it? More towards the around your belly, all of that have that energy make computers.
Hmm.
And there we go. I always
Hmm.
thought that was the strangest thing, but there it is.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sahej. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry, it took me a minute to, I've been drifting in and out of sleep.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been an interesting morning because I was perfectly wide awake, but I've been drifting into sleep in this last little bit. So the first thing that came up wasn't directly, or maybe it is directly related to my question, which was, do these beings come specifically to assist us, or is this just part of their own exploration? But the last thing that you were saying, Siri Gian, made me think of these two articles I've seen recently about quantum entanglement, and that there's experiments that they've been doing that basically prove what heretofore has been a theory about the reality of the physics of quantum entanglement. It's provable. And also that they basically created uh, a, a wormhole and were able to pass like a photon or something through it, something with data embedded into it, and to pass it through that wormhole with no degradation of the thing and no loss of or damage to the data. So all these things that used to be sci-fi are now concretely, publicly being acknowledged as fact. So this idea of directing energy with your attention and intention is not. I don't think for most of us it's far fetched, anyways. But I think most of us here in this group, anyways, are aware of the practical application of that. But to practically apply it to physical objects, that's like sort of the next thing, right? But there's so much that's becoming public information. One of the interesting things, though, is that our communications are so controlled. We don't think they are. We think we get on our apps and we get on our social media and we're fed things and we think that we're choosing, but we're really not. We're giving a selected pool of things, information, bytes, that are under somebody else's control and for a purpose. Let me see where this is going. It's like it's the limitless and the limited. The two things are happening simultaneously. And as ever, we have to individually train our awareness to perceive what is what. We can't necessarily change the fact of um, like Google, being this invasive entity that holds this incredible amount of information and is gleaning information from us all the time. There's little things that we can do to sort of change that, but it's the world that we're in right now. But at the same time, we do have this limitless possibility of our own consciousness. And that's where our focus is best served. And so I suppose that the whole notion of this, like this quantum entanglement and things like that, has to do with, or in this instance, of why this information is coming forth is in relation to these other beings, is that they probably are already well aware of that technology and are employing that technology for us to even be able to be aware of their presence. And that and that maybe through, that is definitely a place where they can assist us in our own awareness and our own learning about what already is, what we thought was a fantasy is actually a physical reality. I know that's a bit rambly, but that's what I've got.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. Thank you.
Siri Gian, can I say something?
Yes, who is that?
This is Jot Gian Devi.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. When Gian Das Prem was talking, to me, there's a connection, I think. I don't know if I can make it, but you were how you were talking about energy moving. If y'all can just relate to what he was talking about. What came to me was when the tsunami happened in Thailand. I think we're going to hear a different way. That's the communication you were talking about. How do we connect? So I saw the tsunami, and then I heard, like I literally heard it when it was happening. The elephants were stomping their feet on the ground because they could feel the vibration wasn't normal, wasn't right. They could feel the tsunami coming, and they were hitting their big feet onto the ground, stomping it. Well, the people that control the elephants or keep them, I don't know what you call those kind of people, unleashed the elephants because they were frantic. When they unleashed the elephants, and you all probably heard the story, I would assume it was out there for everybody. The elephants went and with their trunks picked up children that would drown. They were saving the kids and putting to higher ground. I was so impressed with the story.
And their people? Their children?
The elephants were, once they were released from the way you would hold a horse, they were be held with chains on their ankles. It's not a mean thing. It's just the way it's done.
Right.
They were released by their owners because the elephants were upset. They weren't mad. They were frantic. And then they would go and find children that were going to drown and pick them up and put them to higher places. I thought that was the most fascinating story. And I think that's an unexpected way that we learned about how we communicate. And I think our communication, and I think Gian Das Prem, I feel like you were speaking a lot about communicating like with lightning, with light, with words we don't know, with even things that happen that we don't understand. And this is one of them. And I thought, oh, we're just going to be more sensitive to how things are expressed, like an elephant pounding their feet on the ground. I just thought it was a beautiful way, and I guess more beautiful is going to come through. That we're going to understand to listen in another way. That's what it made me think of, Gian Das Prem. Thanks a lot for what you had to say.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You dear. And what I was listening this from Live Science. They were talking about crop circles.
Yeah.
They're getting people who know about extraordinary mathematics, and evidently are being understood, almost these things. And my listening was about different, what do you call it? Different, we'll just call it files, different parts of understanding of what we call physical or doing or energy. So that's it. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. So we have Japa Saraswati.
Satnam, my question was, when are you coming? I guess I was talking directly to the aliens.
Yeah.
When are you coming? What are your objectives? And beyond your objectives, what will happen? What will Earth feel? How will Earth feel these ripples? Like the unintended necessarily consequences of having them come. And the first thing I heard, I wish Aagia Pal was here. Set City will get this. Did you all ever read the Hemingway short story Hills Like White Elephants? It's about this couple in the 1920s, and they had an
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, to let the air in. That's what I literally heard. I heard to let the air in, which was the euphemism that the man used
Right.
for abortion.
What a great
Yeah, but
analogy.
I also saw the windows. Okay, it gets even deeper than that. But remember Hemingway's iceberg theory? That's where, yeah. So Hemingway said that writing is like an iceberg. What you see is just like 1/10 of what exists in the subconscious underneath the surface of the story. And that's what I felt about the aliens. But I also kept on having the feeling of these, you know how Germans are with opening the windows constantly? They believe in changing the air over constantly to let the air in.
Yeah.
That's what I felt about the aliens, was this element of circulation and to ease congestion. And I also felt it in this sort of primal way to provoke future ovulation, to provoke future, how do I say it? Being able to receive the
Sperm.
seed. Yeah, that sort of a thing. And then for when, I kept on hearing, and I heard this many times, that something's happening late in the summer, and that I feel that it has something to do with Elon Musk, but I don't really know why. And then I heard that it is a distraction in the sky, that it is for distracting us from something else, that it will be used and played by the media to keep our eyes on another place while they're doing something else. Further, what I heard was that it's the strings that are connecting us for outer space are made of money, and that it's not necessarily literal money, but that it is uh what we need for this communication is incredibly refined, and that costs a lot of money to make anything that refined, even if it's just the vibration of the energy, that it's incredibly refined. And that's part of why we haven't been ready for it now, is that we haven't reached a state of refinement to get there. Also, what I felt was that what ripples we will feel will be the wake. So I talked to you guys before about gyroscopic precession, which is, it says that a force applied is felt 90 degrees ahead on the plane of rotation, that all of these ripples are bound to the laws of physics that we currently live by. Um, and that it will take time to feel the full effect of the ripples, that we will feel like an immediate short effect, but that the full consequence won't become apparent for a long time. But that what I also feel is that it is um like tidal, like the way that the moon is pulled, pulls the waves and the tides, that we will experience. I feel that there's going to be a change in the tides a little bit. Um, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who's going to do what, but I feel that it's going to affect the waterways. And this will also affect commerce, because currency as current as money, currency as current as money, that it's affecting the ways that it's the ways that things flow. It's literally also affecting um the weight that people feel. I'm feeling that yeah, oh, not that gravity is changing, but I'm feeling that things will be different, and that this is part of that tidal pull that is coming. And then I also heard that it will cause us to communicate differently, that language is evolving, and that I loved what Jot Gian Devi said about communicating with words we don't know. That's exactly it. We're going to be communicating with words that we don't know yet, and it's part of this, like like language is viral, and language is constantly evolving. And like for example, spelling wasn't really standardized until Noah Webster. He had this expensive printing press, and he
Wow.
was like, how can I make money with my printing press the rest of the month, the rest of the year, when he wasn't printing his contracts, that he already had contracts to print. And he was like, oh, I'll print a dictionary. And that is literally when the spelling of things became standardized. But before that, it was so much more fluid, that you would be able to read a regional dialect, because people would write the pronunciation differently. And it was like cultural. And I was reading on the Miami, what is the newspaper out of Miami this morning, and the woman was talking about a type of fishing with a net, and she said drug, that this net was drug across the waterway. And I immediately had to stop reading. I just was like, this isn't you, that's not the proper, it's dragged. What? I was just incensed. I had to stop reading, and I had to look it up and make sure that I hadn't gone crazy, that it wasn't. And what it said was that it is not grammatically correct, but that it's a regionalism. In the South, people say drug for dragged. And then from this message with Baba, the message I got was really to be a lot softer, that people speak a lot of different languages, and that this is a place that they learned that that's okay. Who am I to say that it's very imperial of me to say that only my way of communicating counts, and that it's not real if it doesn't fit into the narrow confines. And that was part of my message, was that um, the modes of communication are going to change, and not to be judgmental when you hear somebody using even words like the evolving slang, the Gen Z slang, and the terms that people are using, and the things that are coming up strictly because of um, new modes of communication on Snapchat, that with the messages that disappear, on that exactly that there are modes of communication where the messages disappear, and it was a flash in the pan. And that's a bit like what we're going to be getting a lot more input. Part of what I felt was a lot more language. Like I just saw a very touching news story this morning about a woman who was Mexican, is Mexican, and had been living in the States for the last 30 years and was going back to Mexico to retire, partially because her immigration status was, she was here legally, but she had a complex immigration status, and she didn't want to deal with being harassed. And so she decided to retire to Mexico. And what I felt, part of what I saw on this message is how this lady has now been living in the States for 30 years, and she's going to bring so much American culture and language to her little tiny village in rural Mexico with her. And that part of what's happening is like we're having aliens coming from so much farther away than from LA to southern Mexico, that there's going to be a natural inculcation and yeah, seeping of culture, of things that we don't even know yet. I go on. I think that was my message.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Japa Saraswati,
Yeah.
we've already seen this happening years before Webster. And Webster had to come in because we had so many languages happening. When you look at his book and you go into the back, look at the definition of our names. The culture so got slammed and blended. Some organization had to happen. He just had it about him, which is great. But it's happened when the immigrants came here from other, like Ireland, Scotland, keep on going. So we've already been through this. We've already seen bits of it happening because our language, American language, is multicultural.
And that's part of it. Like, I love how the OED always has their words of the year to talk about which new words are the most influential or the most used or the most buzzword of the year. And it's absolutely fascinating how as a lexicon, as we grow as a cultural lexicon. And now our sibling beings from other galaxies are going to bring their, what I feel is, um oh, what's that woman, Merkaba, who does that song in an African click dialect? It's called the Wedding Song. I will send everybody a link to listen to this song
Oh,
because
thank you.
it's a wonderful song, and she does this. You'll all recognize it because it's a very famous song. But she goes into this click dialect, um, and it's so foreign to our ear, but it is a wonderful, wonderful. It's just delicious. It's absolutely delicious. And it's the same sort of a thing that I'm feeling. The aliens are going to give us a totally different way of communicating.
Okay. Because, you know, talking and telling, it has to do with your own consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Siri Gian, I don't know if I realize I might have gone, well, it's Sut City. I would love to hear from Sut City next.
Yes. Well, that's it.
Oh, okay, I'll be quick. Thank you, everybody, for these wonderful shares today. Really gave me a lot of insight and things to think about. So, number one, Saul said, I speak to your souls. And he was talking about all of us, but me. And I try to find the language that you like, your soul language. So she said, Soul said, so Sut City, you speak in images and you love media. So I'm going to tell you about aliens from the media perspective on Earth. So I sent Siri Gian a link to IMB, which is it's like a database of all media, at least in English, but you can do other world languages. And they have a massive collection of movies and films and TV ads and all sorts of stuff about aliens. So if you want to
I'm
take a look at
forwarding
that.
it. I'm going to put it up for everybody, Set City. You sent it to me instead.
Yeah, no, I sent it to you too.
Okay.
I deliberately sent it to you. So
I'm
that if you
putting it in
wanted
the
to,
chat.
it's fascinating. So so it's like, that's a very beautiful thing that soul tailors communication to us in our own best forms and modes of communication, whatever they are. It could be mechanics, it could be the weather, who knows? So what I got was aliens. This is right from Soul. Aliens have been here on Earth since the beginning. And they have always been here as a helping force, as a instructing, because they had a lot more wisdom. They've been around a lot longer than you, Homo sapiens. I think that's what we're called. And sorry about the garbage truck in the background, but they were very positive force, helping early humans in their evolution and learning how to intelligently survive, grow crops, all sorts of stuff. So that was like, hey, they've been here a really long time. But what they learned was that human beings have this tendency to create scapegoats and create differences and war, and based on enemies and alien, peoples. There was this dark streak in humans that made it unsafe for the aliens to be out there and overt, though they're here all the time helping us. And then he said, because you like media, he said, we, in the modern age, in the age of television, we saw that the vision of aliens was very evil, like they were evil and dangerous and destructive. So they tried to be in the media, and ET was like a breakthrough in more positive visions of the aliens. He said in a lot of different cultures, especially in Africa, they were much more open to the aliens. So anyway, then the final thing I got was aliens. Yeah, ET was a big turning point. Home. And that guy, and they also did confirm, because I asked, hey, what about that guy in the Dharma who dressed like an alien and gave talks at solstices all the time about aliens? Yeah, he was really a great, deeply loving soul. I forget his name, but he always, I'll never forget my first solstice. We had like 3 hours on the aliens that were among us. Anyway, so in the end part was,
Narayan.
Yes, Narayan. He scared me so bad I went and hid in the outhouse, one of the potty houses. My first solstice. But I'm just going to try to wrap up with what the most recent thing was. That in the Aquarian age, the aliens are going to be humans are transforming, heart opening. The Aquarian age is really this massive step forward in human beings, compassion and empathy, and the aliens feel safer to be more overt and not just be on TV programs and movies, but to actually maybe be out there more. So that is what I got. And I really, really love this topic, and everybody shares. It was so profound. Pass.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I want to tell you, we used to have some other things about it was TV kind of.
My favorite Martian. Remember that?
No, that's not it. But
Okay.
but saw other kinds of plays. But this one was they were going to say that aliens, he was very tall guy, and was saying that people was going through, stepping through the spacecraft so that people could have, I think, have fun or to know about things. And the alien guy had a big book there, and people didn't really understand what was saying. But then they found that this book says recipes. In other words, the humans are cooking recipes for being, what do you say, the food. That was the old one.
My goodness.
Isn't that awful? Anyway, it's done. Okay. So thank you all. Thank you. But don't think about, I just told you all about that.
Yeah.
Get that. But isn't it wonderful talking about these, what we call aliens? Aren't they beautiful people? And it was very interesting to me to say about dark streaks in humans. Okay. So God bless you all. So now, so Sahej, would you lead our song? Are you there? She's not. She's muting. So maybe Gian Das Prem.
Yes.
Gian Das Prem.
Satnam.
Satnam.
Okay. Rub our hands together, and then we'll do an inhale, and we'll sing it one time through. Okay, inhale, exhale, inhale to begin. Long time sun. May the
long time
sun
shine upon
you. All the surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. So bless you all. Love you. See you soon.
Satnam. Bye, everybody.
Satnam.
Bless you all. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
Okay. God bless.
Satnam. Waheguru. What a great class.
Stay with our family.
Thank